Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday morning and welcome to FPL Jedi Show Gameweek 30 Deadline stream. My name is Hafiz and I would like to welcome my co-host Azmin to the stream.
Good morning, Hafiz. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm excited to be here after the international break, of course.
I'm just happy that so far my audio is working. Cross fingers, no issues like the midweek stream. So hopefully all goes well.
Yep, you sounds good and you look refreshed. And I'm actually excited to see later in terms of your wildcard team where you are right now.
Yeah, a few changes. Yep. Let's go.
All right, let's take a look at Gameweek 30 fixture before we jump in all the team news and pressure by the managers. What will happen this week? We already know on Saturday lunchtime hour, the early kickoff, Newcastle will face West Ham United. And then
Yep.
on 11 p.m. Malaysian time, we have like five fixture. Bournemouth versus Everton. We have Chelsea versus Burnley, who we expect to win big and get some people to score in that game. We have Forest versus Palace, interesting match, man, because Forest, who actually been deducted 4 points, and now they are in the bottom three, so they are definitely desperate for points, and they play at home. Sheffield United versus Fulham, high flying Fulham after that 3-0 win in game week 29. And of course, Spurs wants to bounce back from their defeat against Fulham with
Yep.
at home against Luton Town. And then on Saturday midnight, we have two matches: Aston Villa versus Wolves, and then Brentford versus Manchester United. So it's a packed Saturday night matches,
Thank you very
and
much.
then on Sunday we have only two matches: your club Liverpool versus Brighton, and then the big one, Man City versus Arsenal, first spot against third spot in the league.
Well, hopefully that last game will be a draw. So yep, only for Liverpool. But yeah, lots of Moneyball look matches. So yeah, so let's see. There's quite a few there that we could really make use of and boost our points. So let's go.
Okay, let's jump to the first team news, Newcastle versus West Ham. What has been the managers been saying?
Right. So Newcastle, there's quite a few things that we need to figure out. Actually, for example, those of us who may have Trippier, and even if you don't have Trippier, you also have to consider Dubravka as well. At this point in time, depending on where we are, we know that Dubravka, he came back early, so he's fine. So it was just something that they decided to do just to be safe. So how we selling Trippier, Barnes, Livramento all could return, but Howie has had history of not necessarily being honest about these things. Yeah, so it looks really dodgy. At the moment, those who've wildcarded, definitely you're looking at Isaac, Gordon, and the cheap option in case of Lascelles because Botman is out confirmed. So Lascelles looks like he gets to play till the end of the season. He's fixed there. Of course, the thing is with if Howie continues to play Burn, it does feel like he's risking the clean sheet. But let's see how we go. If Livramento is whether or not Livramento is fit. There's also mention of Louis Miley, so he's out because of a back issue. But in terms of lineups, he has been talking up Lewis Hall. So let's see whether or not that changes because it comes back to, if you remember the City game that Newcastle used the wing-back system and Lewis Hall was one of those who benefited, but we're not sure. So let's see how we go. In terms of West Ham, the main doubts, which is worrying, which is Paqueta, because we know that Paqueta is quite important to the squad, but although he may not necessarily be an FPL pick. Other than that, Argot not so big, but your main picks, Bowen, and then those of us who have Kudus, he's fine. Now, in terms of calling this match, it could be a tough game, this one. I don't know. It's these are two top sides.
Yep.
and I'm not sure whether you'll get a lot of points out of it, but it is the first match of the week, so yeah. Um, I don't know. Do you have do you have Areola?
I have Arila, but
You're not
it's the
gonna
case
play.
of which goalkeeper I'm gonna play, because both are playing in this game, right? New Braga versus Arila. So interesting one.
Yeah, that's the
But
thing. Yeah, so those of you who still do Bronca Ariella, in this kind of circumstances, I would probably just go safe and go for the home
I
keeper.
think so. I think so.
Yeah, so that's just a case. Yeah, it could be a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess.
I think,
Yeah.
I think it's like a draw event, of which I just take a look. They are actually at the top half of the table. West
Yeah.
Ham at 7th place and Newcastle at 10. So pretty much it's a tight game for both of the
Yeah,
club.
but West Ham can be quite random sometimes. So,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
what.
that's why.
So, I know there's a lot who are recommending, pick up Isaac and pick up
Mhm.
Gordon and play for this week. So, yeah, but that's again, it's a home thing. So,
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next team in Bournemouth versus Everton. They are 10 points apart in terms of league table. Everton, despite their second more consistent form, especially at home, but they are desperate for points this week, man.
right. So, so this is another case of what does he mean when he says expects him to be involved? It could be anything, you know, and 100% expects him to involve. It's such a dodgy statement. Yeah, but supposedly he has been training well, so that's what he meant. So no issues. Fine to feature this weekend, as per Scout. Everyone else is back. Those of us who went for Zabani, no issues there. He should play. So Sinestra
Looks like
is out.
Senesi will be out. Senesi.
Yeah, so Sinestri's hamstring isn't ready yet, so he's still off. Yeah, so unfortunately that's a case there. For those of you who picked up Neto, yeah, Neto should be fine, and might as well play him against Everton, who still continue to have issues at the back. Issues in terms of attack, not exactly solid. After that, for Everton, no significant issues really. Those who are there should there. DCL who's lost his place, so don't expect him to start yet. Until Beto screws up badly. Doucouré, who is probably Everton's most best goal threat, he's fit. So yeah, that's it.
Right. So it looks like if you have Solanke, you just play him and hope whatever Arula talking about, he should be fit to start. And Neto, if you have Zabani, you do not have any other player, because you might not want to fill your one or two Arsenal defenders, that you just play the bottom defenders.
Yeah,
all right.
That's right. Yeah, that's okay.
Let's go to the next one. Chelsea versus Burnley. For call on paper, it's a money ball game for Chelsea. But what's the latest news, mean, for both teams?
Well, the main thing with is Chilwell really, because he had to after he went for England, he had a knock, so it's just a case of whether or not he's okay. So that's going to be assessed. No issues with Cole Palmer apparently, so he should be fine. No, not an issue. Of course, Cole Palmer will probably play when he has half a leg, because that's how important he is to the Chelsea cause. Okay, so in terms of Burnley, no, again, we know that company doesn't like talk about injuries so much, yeah. But the biggest miss for Burnley will of course be that Fofana, Chelsea player, it will be available to play. Yeah, so Fofana, who came in as a January loanee and has done well for Burnley, but unfortunately, they're gonna miss his services. Clearly, we don't expect to bring in any Burnley players. It's all about Chelsea. So those of you who part on Jackson could be actually not a bad pick. Yeah, especially for those who are tripling up on Chelsea already. Yeah, so you have to decide. Now, for those of us who wildcarded, Gusto comes into as a really cheap option, and Petrovic could be a no-brainer. Yeah, for the rest is
Yep.
also taking into account the double, especially if we have the flu hit chip as well, and of course Palmer, who I've missed in the past few weeks. Yeah, so that's a shoe in as well.
Yeah, interesting to know about Cole Palmer condition, because there's like press or even rumors mentioning about how is the condition of Cole Palmer, because during the England duty he did not feature any minutes, and then that also posted a surprise from Pochettino himself, because he thought that Palmer should get some minutes, but instead of that, Chilwell played both game who are just returned from injury. That's Bimus in
Yeah,
terms of
yeah, you can tell that O'Neill doesn't care. So that's how O'Neill lah. Siapa ni?
Southgate. Southgate.
Southgate doesn't care. One thing to note of, if you look at that predicted lineup, you've got Modric and Gallagher. Gallagher, who's usually playing at the 10, and Modric, and the reason for that is because there's an issue with Enzo. So Enzo Fernandez, who played for Argentina, so he traveled, came back on Wednesday night and hasn't trained yet. So
Okay.
that is why the prediction is that Modric will come in and where Gallagher gets pushed to the back. So that is the only issue with that slight disruption will impact Chelsea's minutes. Something to think about. Of course, for Chilwell, that's why you got Cucurella instead. So yeah. So again, something to consider when finalizing your squad.
All right. So Gusto should be fine. Palmer should be fine, and we'll see how it goes tonight. Let's go to the next match, man. Forest versus Palace. We would like to know what Nuno and also the new media Glasner been mentioning about their team, man.
Well, Nuno played the Vincent Company game as well, so you would expect that nothing new. And of course, it's frustrating that Forest got docked more points. Yeah, but the most biggest thing is that Chris Wood looks like he's going to be fit, even though he was taken off during the Luton game. But yeah, he should be okay, and he's going to be needed, because if Wood's out as well, then they're going to be without a good striker, with Awani also out. Excuse me. Aina out does hurt as well, but I guess but Williams and Toffolo as fullbacks should still be okay. But Palace, the good news is that Michael Olise seems to be back in training, but then still too soon, so he's not going to make it for this one. Excuse me, it's all up to Eze. Another, for me, something to look at, but yeah, maybe not, but now it's too late. But Dean Henderson looks like he's going to get a run until the rest of the season. And because Sam Johnston is confirmed he's out for the rest of the season. So that's the main news. So whether or not that's an upgrade for Forest, for me it is. I still rate Dean Henderson, but to be fair, he hasn't exactly been great when he played for Palace, although that's also due to other problems as well. How to call this one? Forest will definitely be more motivated.
Yeah, I think it's a Forest win. I think they should be motivated after that recent dot points. So yeah, that's what I say.
If you remember midweek, I pumped for Chris Wood as a viable option here. So those of you, if you want to punt, if those of you who are wildcarding in game week 31, you want a punt for this week, I think Wood would be a good punt.
All right, fair. Just want to mention, if you're on wildcard, okay, sorry, wildcard, you might not necessarily targeting Crystal Palace asset, because you could actually free hit in game week 34. But if you do not have a free hit, maybe some of the cheap asset in Crystal Palace you could look at. People are mentioning about Munoz, but he's 4.5. Another interesting one, which the FPL General did mention, or wrote in his article in Football Scout, is Chris Richards at 3.9 million. So that could actually be an option if you want to go cheapy, and Palace do double in game week 34.
Hello? I'm not sure. Am I still live? Okay. Okay. I'm just going to go on. Looking at the next. Oh, here. Hafiz, are you okay?
Sorry, I misclicked
You're,
my.
you're, okay. No worries. No worries. I wasn't sure what happened. Okay. I'll continue. So is that the next
Where are
one?
we now? We just talked about
I
the
think.
Forest Palace
Okay.
team, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So can we move to next one, which is
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Sheffield United versus Fulham? Eh? A lot of
Yeah.
interest in terms of Fulham asset.
Well, is there? Okay. So Sheffield United. Yeah, I guess it's a matchup thing because Sheffield United, when you look at that lineup, is just it's starting to look totally unrecognizable because you're not just trying to figure out how to, as Sheffield United, get increasingly desperate, which is not good. But Fulham, who are looking good after a recent thrashing of Spurs, so you got Muniz there, and who will definitely play, and we were liking him a lot. Those of us who are wildcarding will definitely want to show him on the team because he's cheap. He's so super cheap and a performing cheap striker, which is something we don't get much of. So definitely, if you're considering, especially to show in the likes of Salah and Haaland, all your expensive assets, then Muniz becomes a great pick into as your third striker, and you don't have to worry about him not playing because he will play all of it. So yeah, other than that, they pretty much okay, no issues with Fulham, and this could be another nail into the coffin of Sheffield United, unfortunately. So yeah.
Yeah. So most probably people are interested in terms of Muniz into their wildcard team. 4.5, 4.6 right now. Decent fixture, man. Sheffield United this week, next week is actually Forest, and then Newcastle. After that, West Ham. So quite decent in the next four if you want to decide to play him, which is still fine, I suppose.
I think the thing with Sheffield United, those who remember, because they didn't play in game week 29, they played in game week 28. They last played and managed to get a draw against Bournemouth. So you would think that they're improving, but I do feel that Fulham is another level. It's just a bit too much. Yeah. So I know that Sheffield United are looking to build, but against Fulham, I can't see them having a chance at all. I'm sorry.
All right. Good stuff, man. Let's go to the next team. Spurs versus Luton. I think this is the one that interests most manager who are going to, in terms of Spurs asset, getting into our wildcard team. So what's the latest news, man?
So the latest thing with Spurs is, of course, I think we talked. I did hint at whether or not we did notice that Richarlison had an issue coming back from Brazil, but turns out now he seems to be absolutely fine. So, but the thing is, the prediction by FFS does not include Richarlison. But
Do
he
you
did.
think about Richardson going to start? What do you feel?
It's a good question because I think I still have Richarlison in my team as well. The thing is, in the conference, he did mention that, what was the word he used? Niggle. He has a niggle of some sort. Yeah, but so we'll have to see. He did train though yesterday, so he did train. So that's where the doubt, the question of whether or not he'll actually play. So yeah, those of you who already have Richarlison already, you might as well continue playing him. I think there's a risk, but the thing is, even if he gets minutes against Luton, he could do well. The biggest news for me is that Mickey Van is available, so definitely will help to shore up this Spurs defense. But to be fair, Spurs playing style aren't exactly a clean sheet playing style, but as long as it's enough to get the victory. So if you want to go for attacking returns, of course, you still look at Udogi and Poro in terms of your defense options, because we know that a lot of players, if not this week, then next week, they're looking to triple up on Spurs to take the double game weeks into account. So yeah, For Luton, yeah, Ogbonna joined the injury list to have a hamstring, but other than that, everyone's okay. You got Morris, Clark, Chong there. So, unfortunately, Adebayo is still out. Doty is still around. So, but the thing is, Luton could score well. Yeah, but given, the fixtures and what we want to optimizing our players for the rest of the season, it's hard to pick any Luton players at this stage, especially given that they're really down there in the relegation zone.
Yeah, and they won't double anytime in the next 9 game week. So pretty much the interest
The rest of the season.
all touching on Spurs as admin. So if you're on wildcard with this news, you might not want, or you want to get Richardson in, or what do you think in terms of this?
It's you could go without him first if you want to be safe. If because if you're not if you have a doubt, because if you wildcarding, you can definitely look to bring him in later as it develops. So yeah, if I don't know, I have Richarlison now, but I'm not sure. I might replace him with Garnacho.
All right. Let's hope he plays some minutes. Let's go to the next match. Aston Villa versus Wolves. Wolves was dropped out from the FA Cup competition after loss with Coventry. Can they bounce back against Villa, who are in the top 4 right now? So what's the latest team news?
Well, the thing is, Aston Villa with Matty Cash, after looking like he might actually start getting a more run in the squad again, and now he's out because thanks to international duties, he's out. For me, another big loss, which is the loss of McGinn, and so he's still suspended. This is his second time, so second match. So other than that, everyone should be okay. Alex Moreno, I expect him to start, because Damien didn't exactly help last week. So in terms of Wolves side, Huang is still out, Neto is still out, so that's gonna hurt. Cunha should be in contention, so at least that will help. But I would think that Villa should have the upper hand here because of Wolves' injuries. So those of us who still have Watkins, yeah, I think you do, right, Hafiz?
Yep, my last hurrah before.
So for your wildcard, yeah. So yeah, no issues playing him.
All right, good stuff. Aston Villa versus Wolves. We do expect Villa to win, especially they're playing at home. Let's go next match, man. Brentford versus United. A tricky one, I suppose. Despite Brentford is somewhere in the top bottom of the table, I think they are on 15th place, but at the same time, United also trying their best to chase the top 4 spot. So, what's the latest news?
So Brentford, no real issues here. The main for me with Reguilon is the main problem, of course, being suspended. Where was I? Who did I want to match? Okay, Reguilon suspended, but it's only one card lah. It's only he'll be back the next match. Mbeumo, so again, he's not in the starting, and from the looks of it, he's not going to start either. He played a closed door game during the internationals, but yeah, he probably is not starting, but he could be handy off the bench. And for the United side, Martinez, I feel that's the biggest news, especially for those who are looking to wildcard. Maybe not this week, but next week, if you're looking to wildcard, it might be a good option, Martinez, but not likely to start this match. Other than that, your Luke Shaw not going to be ready either, but it doesn't matter because if you're looking at United assets, Garnacho, Holland, and Onana, given the double game week. So, and of course, you want the confirmed starters. So those are your confirmed starters. I know Rashford and Fernandez are also confirmed starters, but they're just not as attractive anymore compared to a cheap Garnacho and a performing Holland.
Yep. Those are the assets from Manchester that people are eyeing, especially on wildcard. Garnacho He's the one that people are putting in that five midfield lineup. All right. I mean, there are two matches to go. Let's go to Liverpool versus Brighton. I do not have this zip code. Maybe you can share what's the latest news for both teams.
Okay. To be fair, lots of issues for Liverpool. Unfortunately, you've got so many out actually. So you got those mentioned Alisson, Trent, Jota out as well. Thiago, Matip, of course, the long-term injuries, and Bacetic as well. Robertson looks like he's out.
Nearing to coming back, right? I mean, those Alisson,
Yeah, nearing to. I don't know. It's a big problem for us lah. Yeah, but they're not likely to be risked this week. So apparently Nunes is okay. So he did have that. If you remember during the FA Cup, he had that injury, but it should be fine. There is a possibility of Cody Gakpo playing instead. Yeah, but hard to see it. Yeah, so Nunes should be fine. Robertson, it might be just a short injury, so Gomez could come in there. Or oh my god, I can't remember his name. Who's the other guy? Who's the other left back? Who's the left back?
Tsimikas.
Tsimikas, yes, Tsimikas. Because definitely, I think Tsimikas should prove could be a good option there. So he's definitely okay. I just want to talk about Liverpool because TAA is being sniffed around by Real Madrid. So I don't know. Yeah, so it's a case of, I think we're trying to look at options here and for the double game, and I don't know, is Bradley an option? Because
people are thinking about that, man. Bradley, a cheap option right back. Right, with Gomez, with Tsimikas, with TA coming back. Should we worry his spot?
Yeah, so Wildcard 31, you have a bit of extra time to look at the more updated info on TA. But for those who are wildcarding this week, I was looking at it. So I would think that based on the quotes, Klopp normally is truthful. There's only a few occasions where he's conned us. So when he said not too far but not in yet, but I do worry that because Liverpool are also involved in Europa as well. But to be fair, but not as important Champions League, but still. So I wonder how he's going to juggle later on. And the thing with Trent Alexander-Arnold, there's still a possibility that even if he plays, Bradley could still play with TA playing further up in midfield. Yeah, but it's a risk. It's a risk. The thing is, Bradley, if he gets starts, he's quality. I like him. I think he's definitely worth potential for points. Okay,
so I think you already sum up in terms of risk there. So people don't want risk, right, me?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So the only reason I haven't put him in my team is because I've gone for clear starters, sure starters, because I feel that that's the what I need to do if I want to end up with a decent rank. So, but for those of you who are willing to punt, or don't mind having that bench, so yeah, Bradley definitely is an option. Yeah, well, you need to. Yeah, I mean, because he's also cheap, but he does produce performance. Okay, so moving on to Brighton. So we don't know yet what's going on with Brighton. So we expect a press conference only on Saturday. But if you scouting the pictures from training, so we saw that Estupinian is there. Yeah, despite some ankle issues. Other than that, the people who are still out, which is quite important, March and Mitoma are still out as well. So that's why you don't see them there. To be fair, Adingra has done well in Marshall's absence. Gross, obviously, if you have him, continue to play him even against Liverpool, because I think he can score given Liverpool's not quite strong back line, not being able to play the optimum back line. Other than that, Ferguson played for Ireland. Yeah, but he's not an option really. So really, it's just Gross if you have him. I know a lot of people have wildcarded Van Heck into the teams, but he's probably going to be on the bench anyway. Yeah, so not likely to start here.
All right, pretty much looks there's some uncertainty, but we expect a strong Liverpool lineup featuring the likes of Nunes, Salah, and Diaz up front. So those are the thinking right now. Last but not least, Man City versus Arsenal, the big one. People are looking at who is the asset that able to play in this big match. So what's the latest news?
Walker, Stones out. Saka, Martinelli, Gabriel doubtful. So we know that Walker and Stones are confirmed out. So KDB and Edison. So KDB, if you remember, going into the national break, he had some issues as well, but looks like he's okay. And they was both Edison and KDB were seen in galleries training. So those are the quotes by Pep. Edison much better. KDB trained well. So it looks like that lineup is you got Ruben Diaz, Ake, Guardiola, but it could also be Akanji as well. So Akanji, who has been training as well, it could be there instead of Rico Lewis. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I think for this match, you probably go with the more experienced one. So if Akanji is fit, Akanji will play. Yeah. Up front, you got Foden, De Bruyne, Haaland, and Grealish, and Silva, Rodri. Yeah, those are fine. So no real doubts with Manchester City. What you see is what you get. For me, I think Arteta's bloody lying. I think okay, I just gotta call it now because I think I don't see any issue. I can expect Saka to play. He claims that none of them have trained. But Saka and
which might be true, right?
Pardon?
Which might be true, right? Not true.
Yeah, but because Saka and Gabriel, they during the international break, they left their teams during the break, the international teams. Yeah, but a lot of it said that it's more precautionary, and I really think that I'm gonna call it now. He's lying. Saka and Martinelli Saka, Martinelli, Gabriel most likely will start the match. I totally think that Arteta is lying here. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, Arsenal fans, but I think that he's lying. I think they are all fit. They will all play.
I think Arteta want to play all those big players for this match, right?
And just to also just remember that there's also an extra day for them to train. They only play on Sunday night. So yeah, I think they're fine and they will start. All of them.
Okay. All right. So based on this team news, what is your predicted score?
Wow, that's a tough one.
As much as you want this to be a draw game.
Look, the thing is, we've seen Arsenal do really well recently. They've been trashing teams back end, here and there, and really opened up the goal scoring. I just feel that against City, they're gonna rein it in a bit and try to play a bit more, but cautiously. So I think City is gonna win this one. I think the quality of Haaland and Foden and KDB. I think a KDB brilliance is going to decide this game, and yeah, I'm still going for a City win.
All right, good stuff. We hope it's an entertaining match. That's for sure.
One thing though, because you put we got predicted Ramsdale here, but I think Raya should play. Yeah, because he didn't play last week. Because he was against Brentford, but he should play in this one. So I think Raya is.
Let me take quick look. Sorry, I think the recent team news mentioned about Raya starting. Yep. Okay. Yep. Good stuff. Let's go, to the transfer traffic of Gameweek 30. What managers are doing in terms of their team, especially on the wildcarders. We can see the top 5. Number 1, no surprise, Mo Salah is coming back to the frame. 748,000 medias has brought the Egyptian midfielder in. I think his price it's already rise. Is it? I'm not sure. 13.2 or maybe still 13.1, but it will keep rising for sure. And then we have Palmer in second. Muniz, man, at third place. We did mention about the Fulham striker just now, and they're facing Sheffield United. Son, no surprise against Luton. And Gusto, another interesting asset in the top 5 transfer traffic. How about who are going out for this game week 30? KDB. Yes, means that in terms of their game against Arsenal could actually move that in terms of why he has number 1 to be transferred out this week. 355,000 managers has brought him out. We have Bowen, we have Doty, we have Morris also in the top 5, but merely because maybe who actually brought in for GW29 and they are not Wakadin yet, so they just want to move one of those assets. And then we have Saka, maybe about his doubtfulness in terms of his injury, but I think he's still gonna play, like you mentioned. So what's key takeaways in this top transfer traffic, man?
Well, so Salah, Palmer, Muniz, San Gusto, yeah, definitely wildcard targets. I have all 5 of them, so it doesn't come as a surprise to me. So yeah, I think Salah. I mean, yeah, he hasn't. He's been injured, but he's come back, and he's done decently. So in this run-in, you'd expect him to go full throttle and give Klopp a nice send-off. Because Klopp has done much for Salah. He's turned him into the striker he is today, the player he is today. Palmer, the ever reliable, the one dependable Chelsea asset, of course, no surprises there. Muniz it's not so much a surprise, of course, simply because of his price. If he was a bit more expensive, then he may not appear on this rank. But because he's cheap, then he makes a nice shoe-in. Son, no surprises there. Gusto, again, a cheap defender playing for London Chelsea. So all makes sense. Transfers out, I guess they've given up on Bowen already. But of course, again, when you look at that, you know that the skewness is more towards the double games, preparing for double games. And of course, KDB, those who had him like me have realized that his FPL output is not what it used to be. Yeah, especially with the likes of Foden really taking over in terms of that FPL points role.
Yep, for sure, man. All right, let's take a look on the suspension list before we go to our team. Just a recap, because Azmin already mentioned who are going to suspended for this week. We touched about John McGinn, 2 matches, okay, because he was red carded. And then Edson Alvarez pick up his 10 yellow card last week, so he will be suspended for the next 2 games. And then Regulan, red card, missing 1 game this week, and maybe not so much on Ahmad Diallo. He also was red carded in the FA Cup match and will miss this game week. And don't forget about Mr. Tonali from Newcastle. He's still suspended until August. But with the recent news that the FA England are also investigating his case, I don't know whether this suspension will be
continue.
Right. So that could be another situation. So quickly on the suspension tightrope, man, who are nearing that 10 yellow cards. You mentioned about Jackson. He is on 9 yellow cards, and if he's got this yellow card this week, he will be suspended for 2 game weeks. Same goes to Bruno G of Newcastle, but might not be so much interest in terms of that Newcastle midfielder. But who else on 8 yellow cards? The interesting one here that could actually potentially affecting the double game week is Mr. Nunes.
Nunes,
on 8 yellow cards, so we need to be careful in terms of that. Other than that, maybe Gordon Newcastle on 8 yellow cards. We have Douglas Lewis, maybe one of the interest player also, Aston Villa. But I don't think he's on your wildcard team, but he's another famous asset. Bruno Fernandes from Manchester, but other than that, not so much interest, man.
Yeah, so I mentioned Jackson as a possible punt for those of you who are wildcarding into 31. So this might be week to have a Jackson and then lay off him after, and assuming he gets his 10 yellow card. The other ones, the impact not so much for picking them. No. I should mention Gordon first. So Gordon is a reason why there's plenty of us who are wildcarding this week who are going Isaac over
Okay.
Gordon because they worried about this. And he is in my team at the moment. Yeah. Because I looked at the suspension title and decided at most I can only have one of these players. And that one player is Gordon. Other than that, not so much for picking them as FPL, but in terms of the impact on the performance of the team. So I feel that Bruno Guimaraes, Douglas Luiz, Bruno Fernandes, and Rodri are all quite important to their team. So without them, it might impact on their team's performance. So something to think about if you're wildcarding and looking to get players from any of these. So just something to, especially Bruno. Gosh, he's so important. Without Tonali, it might really hurt Newcastle as well. So for those of us who are considering, Dubravka lah, or Lascelles lah, But if you have the bench, then fine, because if Bruno Guimaraes hits his 10th yellow card, Newcastle aren't going to keep a clean sheet. I'm sorry. So
I just want to touch about Nunes, because if you're wildcarding this week with 8 yellow cards, maybe you're still okay with it. But say people are talking about wildcarding next week, and he's been say yellow carded this week and on 9 yellow cards. So people are thinking whether he might not be an option if that situation happens. So what's your comment?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't go for him either. The thing is, but I mean, the problem is it makes it attractive is that Liverpool play Sheffield United next week, it's very, very tempting. But it is the state of your team if you can handle, because I'm not sure everyone's teams are different, of course. Because the thing is, after the Sheffield United match, Liverpool then play Manchester United, so it's not so straightforward a match. But then in Gameweek 33 they play Palace. So again, it's a first event, and then of course the double in Gameweek 34. So Liverpool doubling in Gameweek 34 for those of you who don't have a wild card. Yeah, it's very attractive, but I probably wouldn't go for Nunes in Gameweek 31 if you picked up a 9th. I just feel that there are other options there, and you can always let's say if he picks it up in this game week and then moves to 9, then the risk I'd wait until game week 33 before I consider picking up for the double, just to see where he's at. Yeah,
understand, but we shall see what happened this week. All right, man, let's go to our team. I go to my team first.
Sure.
And as we discussed in midweek stream, I have 3.3 million in the bank and 1 free transfer, and I'm intend to roll a transfer, which is still the same condition that I am thinking right now. Dubravka over Arela in goal. Zabani, I feel maybe I play Gabriel and Brentford. They play each other against Bournemouth. I have Foden for now. Son, Richarlison, Palmer. Palmer as my captain. Solanke, Watkins, Haaland. The only thinking right now whether I should fit in Saka inside this team. If I do that, then I think it's between Foden or Saka. That's what I feel. And if I decided not to play Gabriel, I want to play Doty at Spurs. We did touch about maybe that could be a scoring game. Luton could actually score and Doty could be in the mix. But I'm still uncertain. But I feel this could be my lineup, man.
Your plan in Game Week 21 is to what?
To bring in Salah and Mr. Nunes.
Okay. So, yeah. I mean, the problem with your team is who to bench. It's just really hard. I can't. you know, if you can get news on Richarlison with the, you know, because if he doesn't, if there's
It
a
doesn't
risk,
start right.
yeah, if that nickel, any late news or, you know, last training today, if you see anything, yeah, then you would bench Richarlison and play Saka, because Foden and Saka are the such key players for the team at the moment. So you, so I would play Foden and Saka instead of Richarlison. Yeah, if you get news. But if there's new news, let's say Richarlison, it looks like Richarlison will play. Oh God, it's so hard. I don't know. You know, bench Haaland.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
why I
He's
decided
uh,
to bench Saka, even though he might actually play the minutes. You did touch about who gonna win that game. If let's say Man
yes,
City gonna win that game, and who gonna score or assist? Probably Haaland or Foden, right? So
yeah,
that's the thinking.
but I don't know. Obviously I have Haaland, but I'm worried that this game might be decided by goal scorers who don't normally score.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
so that's why I've kind of minimized this one and wait till the next week to bring in more of the assets. Other than that, in terms your bench, yeah, I play Doty above Gabriel for sure.
Okay. All right.
Doty
Interesting.
is favorite. I play Doty
Yeah.
above Gabriel.
Okay. I'll give a thought. And just to share about captaincy, I did mention about Palmer more confident in the midweek stream, but now with situation Richardson might start, might not, and if let's say Sun start up front, I think he could be the more little assets. So I might go there, but I will decide before the deadline. Yep.
All right. So for my team,
Right.
can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
I think it's best that I share my screen because I have made changes since the last update. Okay, so this is my current wild card. I got Petrovic in goal. I've replaced previously midweek. I had Pedro Porro. I've replaced him with Udogi after the arguments I made to myself. Gusto and Local. Yeah, I'm just burning my own fire here. Gusto and Lascelles. I've put Sun as captain. I think you all remember I talked
Whoa,
about it.
not Salah. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Well, you didn't.
I don't have Salah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. You don't have Salah, so that's why you're on Palmer. Okay. So I like the look, and I know that Spurs got dumped by last week, but then I do feel that they're gonna bounce back. I think Angie is them in. So I've got Gordon, which I mentioned, Salah, Palmer, Muniz, Holland, and Haaland. So I've got I have my keeper, second keeper is now Onana, because Dubravka, I'm not sure
Okay,
how much time
I like
he has left.
I
Yeah.
like it.
So Richarlison is on the bench again based on my own arguments about the nickel that we talked about. Van Hag is there mainly for the Gameweek 37 thing, and of course Saliba instead of Gabriel, which to be fair could still be swapped because Saliba is slightly expensive.
Man, I just want to say it looks good. Only one comment saja. You have 1.3 million in the bank. All right, good. I think I'm gonna go Nunes over Hodgson. That's all.
Okay.
You take advantage of Brighton and Sheffield United game.
Oh, I love it because I'm the fun Liverpool supporter who's not picking the Liverpool asset, but yeah, I'll have to look at it.
Just give a thought. That's all.
Yeah,
I think
no,
the rest is good.
But the threat of the card is hanging over. So yeah, we'll have to see. But in terms of matchups, Liverpool are looking to win. So Nunes is Mr. Chaos bringer is going to be quite important there. So the thing is, if I bring in Nunes, I will have to hope that he will pick up his cards if he does end up getting suspended, which I do feel that given the way he plays or the way his attitude means he will get it. I just have to hope that it will happen in game week 34 where I free hit. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So so get a card this week, don't get a card next week, get a card the week after in Gameweek
Fair,
33,
fair,
and then
fair.
suspend it,
Fair.
then it's fine. Yeah. Otherwise, hopefully
You're
my
in a better position. You can free hit in 34. If someone like me who doesn't have that luxury and I bring in Nunes and suddenly he did not play in game 34, I'm screwed. That's all I can say.
yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, we know that, but I felt that Manchester United's resurgence does bear some investment. It's just how much I want to invest and want to invest, because a lot of people are bringing Garnacho instead as because he does definitely frees up
Okay.
funds.
Understand.
So he could definitely do well. In the last game week, 2-0. Well, they just lost to City, but that one not surprising lah. Yeah. So
Another one I just want to mention is I don't think wildcard team will have Muniz this game week, which I feel is good for you. I think that could be a differential, and if let's say Muniz perform, your rank will definitely jump.
I know. The thing people will not wanting to bring in Muniz is simply because he is a single. He won't have a double game.
Yeah. Yes.
But at 4.5 and the matchups and the way he's performing, I just think that there's definitely
a merit there.
A lot of money there that can be made. Let me see. How's his ownership is now? It's only 6.4. Okay, fine. No problem. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, because you look at the matchups, there are definitely enough. Sheffield United, Forest, those matchups can definitely do well.
Yeah, even Newcastle at home.
Yeah, even the last match, Luton away. So the thing with obviously there is we will have all the double games to prepare, but we still have time to transfer. So I do have a few players
agree.
Who are not involved in double games yet, but then can easily transfer to make it for the bench boost game week 37, which is my plan.
Agree. All right, good stuff, man. Let's take some question from Rakat FPL. Thank you for the question. Muniz or Semenyo this week? I think I'll go Muniz, man.
I'd go Muniz. I just feel that Fulham is, Muniz is the key goal scorer, because Semenyo isn't. Obviously, he's cheap, but he's not the main goal scorer. Muniz is. So I feel that Sheffield are just more wasted than Everton.
Okay, fair. Sorry. Next question, a goalkeeper conundrum. Petrovic or Neto this week?
Same argument. I think Burnley are more wasted than Everton. Sorry. Okay. Simple, but yes.
Do you dare, man, to go Darwin as captaincy this week?
Nah. No, I think this question came up a few, maybe 10 game weeks ago, and then we know that because if you're going to captain Darwin, you definitely don't want to be watching the match. You for your own health. Picking Darwin is already in your teams is already challenging enough watching him. So if you're captaining him, I just feel that it's not worth the risk.
Okay, right. Bradley or Gusto for this week? I think if I have opportunity to play both, I will play both, mate.
Yeah, but if I had to choose between the two of them, I go for Bradley.
All right. Interesting question, man, about Outnori planning transfer. Outnori or Munoz? I mean, the Crystal Palace defender for double game week 34. Wolves play Arsenal, and then they play Bournemouth. But for Crystal Palace, they have decent match, man. West Ham and Newcastle at home.
Yeah, but I'll go for Outnori. I just feel that the Wolves progress has been better, and by then you should have Huang, Neto should all be back, I think. Yeah, so
okay, fair. I think I'll also agree on that. Last but not least, Van Dijk or Shaw for this week, Brighton or against West Ham United?
Okay, so this is an interesting one, because I actually considered both players in my wildcard team. So wondering that, because if I wanted a defender who was more secure instead of Bradley, then I had to splash the cash for Van Dijk. because he's the only real. I mean, look, if you look at the Liverpool back line right now, it's quite makeshift. I know they've been performing, but it's still a makeshift left back. It's not your first choice. You know, you got Robertson out, you got TA out, and you got Matip out. So in their place is Kwanzaa. You know, so the only even Allison's out, so Kelleher. So the only confirmed there is Van Dijk. Yeah, so yeah, definitely. But at the understand, Shah, if you don't want to, if you have money to invest and don't want Lascelles, because Shah is the goal scoring threat. He's also, you know, quite useful there in that piece situations as well. So okay, so to answer your question,
Long shot.
I'll go for Shah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. All right. Thank you for all those questions. We take a look, Min, before we wrap up our FPL Jedi League, of which 1 to 3 go on. Aman still on the top. He actually free hitting in game week 29, and he got that Muniz in his team. So gladly he got that 25 points.
Hang on. Okay, so because he had Regulon, that's why his points aren't any higher. Yeah, because we're getting Muniz, but then the rest of his squad unfortunately did diddly squad, which is the case for most free hit teams, to be fair. Yeah, but having Muniz helped him to stay the line, and he'll continue. So the good thing, Hafiz, there's still a few double games left, so you can, you know, the chance of you catching up there is still there. So good luck.
I calculate that if I want to catch up, Naman, is 60 points over, but we shall see how. I'm on second spot. Okay, but I just want also to give shout out to the rest. Olanana at third, fourth, Harish. I just want to mention Kamaran Sid moving up the table silently.
Back up again.
Yeah. So fifth place. So well done. FPL Futimura is on 6K, 1K, 7, Armed Force FC Helmi Johari at 8th place, Justin 96, Nick Jakes 9th, and Ashraf still there in the top 10. So keep it up, guys.
Yeah,
all
so right. Kama Rancid is there just to point out because he has won the best score. Yeah, so he did have Muniz. To be fair, he had Regulon, but he also had Kufal. He had Kufal.
Who has got 7 points. All right.
He got 7 points, and he did a free hit, by the way. He just did a transfer. So well done. Well done, Kama Rancid. So yeah.
So most probably he will cutting this week, like your position. He could be right.
Because his team looks so dodgy. If moving on to this week, yeah, he like me. He had the likes of Barkley, Doty. Yeah, I think it's prime for a wildcard. I can see him wildcarding.
All right, Gustav, when will be our Gameweek 30 deadline? It will be at 7 p.m. Malaysian time. So don't miss out that deadline. And to everyone who are actually watching this stream, do hit the like button and subscribe to our FPI Jedi YouTube channel, and do support us. And you can see us or tweet us at FPL CP Jedi for Azmin, and myself at Mohammed.
Yeah. Same here. One thing, I've been really busy of late at work, so I haven't been able to tweet as much as I like. Hopefully, April will turn a new one, and I can, be a lot more active again all the way till the end of the season.
All right. Thank you guys for joining, and hope for the best to whoever you're doing this week, whether you're wildcarding, whether you're doing any transfer or rolling transfer. Okay. Stay vigilant and enjoy the rest of Gameweek 30. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.